again. I know it's been an entire month since I was last live, but I'd like to give you an update. So as you did know from my previous video, I was homeless, and I was homeless. I was on the streets. However, I did find a temporary place to stay until October 7th. Also, hey Steve D, I'm glad you're finally doing this. I know why you didn't do it on Thursday. Everyone, please consider donating to a GoFundMe. Thank you so much. Hey Steve D, hey Gamma B Slots, it's so good to see you. What's up? I'm actually going to give it a few more seconds for everybody to come on in before we start really chatting tonight. Alright, so we got 17 people here. Well, as you may be aware from the situation, I ended up fleeing an abusive situation. I will not tell you where or who was involved for privacy reasons, but I did end up fleeing an abusive situation in America. It was honestly rather scary. I was on the streets, and I was literally at the mercy of other people. What was always on my head was, where would I get my next meal? Where would I find shelter? What would happen the next day? It was honestly, the first day was pretty horrifying. What happened was, I called 5 shelters. Not 5 shelters, correction, but I did end up going to the library. I spent my entire day calling shelters. One shelter after another. And what happened, I do want to let you know, for those who are going through a similar situation, it is way harder than you think to get a shelter. No matter what people say, or you can just get a shelter very easily, or you just can get a shelter and you can just be in a shelter. Nope. You literally spend the entire day on the phone. You get told to call SafeLink, which I did 4 times that day, at 4 different intervals of the day. Then you get told to call. Then you get told to call. Then you get told to call. And then what they do is they give you a list of shelters. They say, okay, here's a list of shelters. Now just keep going. Now just call the next list of shelters. And I'm like, okay, I just keep calling the shelters on the list. I have everything written down as proof. So I eventually get to the end of the list, and you know what's crazy is at the end of the list, whoop, they start referring you back to the original resources. They start referring you back to the original resources, so you just call them again, thinking there's got to be an empty bed. There's got to be an empty bed. You get all hopeful. I got my fingers crossed. Nope. Eventually, the phone does ring. I know my story might sound pretty tedious, but yes, I do realize that this is a very tedious and time-consuming process. Well, I was told that in the state that I was in, there was only 200 shelter beds, even though I got the impression that there was way more beds. Only 200 shelter beds. So my phone rings. I pick up the phone. It's a shelter that says, "Hey, by the way, we only take domestic violence. We only take people who are in immediate danger. Your situation doesn't sound dangerous at all because it was only verbal." So I'm like, okay. Click. Dead end. So I contemplated spending the night at the airport. However, this is when the problem comes in. If I were to stay at the airport, security would most likely ask, "What's your boarding pass? Who are you flying with? Who are you staying with?" And they'd most likely kick me out. I also considered either the bus station, a train station. Nope, I saw the sign said no loitering. In fact, the other day, I saw the police kicking somebody off of a bus bench. Saw it with my own 2 eyes. Pretty unfortunate. That is the reality. This is not the illicit pity. This is not a charity case. But rather, my story is the reality of what it's like being a disabled female minority in the United States who ended up spending time at the mercy of others. Some people may say, well, the homeless, they have a choice to leave. Well, the homeless, they're just poor people who don't know how to pull themselves up by the bootstraps. Well, the homeless, they're just lazy, unmotivated. They just don't know how to work. Turns out, it is actually expensive to get a job, and you sometimes cannot afford to get a job. That means this is something that a lot of people took for granted. Even I did. I took for granted that I could get a clean uniform, clean shoes, upkeep my hair, make sure my face is presentable, and of course brush my teeth. Pretty hard to do when you're on the streets. Even being able to charge a mobile phone to like look for temporary work. Well, that's no go either. Because your days of going into businesses is all limited. Eventually, in the United States, you will get to the point where you stink so much, where you look so unkept, no matter how hard you try to use, no matter how much upkeep you try to do, by scrubbing your face with wipes, and by doing your basic hygiene, you eventually do start to stink. Which means that my days at the library would have been limited if I was on the streets for a longer period. So that is the beginning of it. Another thing to remember is even if you want to get a job, you have to keep in mind. Yeah, you do have. Oh, hey, OS Thoughts, thank you so much. Well, OS Thoughts, that is a really good idea. Unfortunately, I'm unable to drive. In fact, getting my driver's license is one of my biggest dreams in the next year. I dream of getting a driver's license so I'm able to drive. And upon getting my driver's license, I would definitely be interested in driving the UPS. And I'd be interested in doing that because the UPS does need post people to do the mail delivery people and drivers. So that's kind of like a little brief rundown of what it's like being on the streets, what it's like being at the mercy of other people, what it's like calling the shelters, getting told, hey, we can help you, but then not getting any responses, not getting calls back. And what really makes me sad, what makes me sad, OS Thoughts, get in before you get your license. I started when I was 17. You got this. Thank you so much. I definitely got something going. I definitely got some confidence in myself too. But what really makes me sad is the stereotypes that surround the homeless population. There are so many stereotypes, including the fact that homeless people are lazy. They chose to be homeless. They leech off society, that they can't pull themselves by the bootstraps, and that they run free handouts. When in fact, for most, the opposite is exactly true. The opposite is true. Let that sink in. As a homeless individual, you must walk away your days by keeping yourself out of trouble, trying to find shelter, which is a full-time job within itself, ensuring that you're able to get food some way or another. Turns out it is illegal to beg from restaurants. Turns out it is illegal to scavenge through trash. And turns out it is legal to go through dumpsters, which limits your ability to get food. Another statistic that I do want to impress upon all of you is that when you're autistic, I cannot remember with 30 or 300%. Somehow, I can remember the slot machine payouts. For Buffalo Gold on penny denomination, but I can't remember if the statistic is 300 or 30%. Either way, autistic individuals, including myself, they face they face a 330 to 300% chance of ending up homeless. Also, another side note about me. I do know that some people may think that I gambled away all my money. Not true. When in reality, I am autistic. My special interests are slot machines. I just love the magical feeling of seeing a slot machine, just the graphics and cabinet design. That would really hold my interest. I honestly, gambling, nah. I can honestly pass on gambling itself, but rather just seeing the slot machine graphics and pay tables. That's what fascinates me. And sometimes, as an autistic individual, I kind of make abrupt humor, like what I did with the Buffalo Gold slot machine, like uncalled for Buffalo Gold slot machine pay table reference. And my last statement, it makes it harder for me. This is not, as a reminder, this is not for sympathy, but rather it is a reminder that as an autistic individual, I do have a hard time making social connections, maintaining my composure during job interviews, keeping eye contact, which the idea of eye contact is ableist within itself. And another thing that I should keep in mind, as an autistic individual, I do stim, I do flap, I do rock, which actually makes it, and my voice, it does sound, and also don't forget myopraxia of speech, which makes it hard for me to get the words to go from my brain to my mouth due to something that goes on with the muscles, to the motor planning. I forgot the exact explanation, but I do recommend to look up apraxia of speech for a fuller picture. It makes it really hard for me to speak, and even doing this video, I must work extremely hard to coordinate my mouth movements, my eye movements, and my inflectuations, which can actually make me sound when I'm like under the stress of trying to advocate for a shelter, especially when I'm on the phone trying to get through a questionnaire, trying to get through a job interview, or even just speaking to like a manager. It is honestly extremely difficult. I cannot even begin to say, or even fully grasp the difficulty I am having, the difficulty of being on the spot, the difficulty of hearing. Hello, Tessa. Hello, Simon. Thanks for calling this shelter. Well, what was your situation? And you are literally, and I'm like literally put on the spot. If I hesitate, if I go, let me think, they say, the operator often is like, I don't believe you. It's because you paused for too long. And also thank you, hey Casino Solvent, hey Belinda. Hey Matt Gambling Stuff, thank you so much, All Slots. All Slots says, very few understand autism. You are strong for expressing the struggles. Definitely, my autism diagnosis is hard to grasp because there's sometimes, and what really makes autism really hard to understand, I know I'm going to go on a brief tangent about autism. So, it is very common that people associate autism with like men, with boys and people who identify as male. They associate autistic people not with autism, I'm so sorry that I misworded the phrase, but I mean to say autistic individuals. Correction. So that's a correction I just made. And as an autistic individual, and like there's this misconception that autistic individuals, they're recluses, they don't socialize very well, they don't understand social cues, they don't have any intelligence, and they lack any social awareness. And they are computer geeks. That is some of the major stereotypes I've heard about autistic individuals online. These stereotypes all stem from this one organization, correct me if I'm wrong, called Autism Speaks. Autism Speaks perpetuates hurtful stereotypes when it comes to autistic individuals. But in reality, from my experience, many autistic individuals, they can read the room. Autistic individuals can even though we may miss social cues, I am able to read people. Even though I struggle to like sync up my conversations and my speech patterns with like everybody's conversations and get in sync with conversations. Well, because it is hard to get in sync with conversations, it makes me sound very immature and therefore lacking intellect. Sherry Zavinto's, real quick, let me answer Sherry Zavinto's question. That is a really, really important question that we all must keep in mind. Sweetie, are you able to work a full-time job with your disability? Yes, I am. Yes, I am able to work a full-time job. Yet, my situation, I do wish to keep most of it private. I do wish to keep some parts private. But I did find a job for the summer. So yes, I am able to work full time as a disabled. Even though walking is really difficult, I'm still able to muscle through, push through, and even though it is really hard to muscle through at times, yes, I do face something called autistic burnout. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Autistic burnout is when you like push yourself so hard, but you know you must keep going. That you do need to recharge and re-energize yourself. Thank you, Cheryl. That means a ton. Thank you. James says, smash that like button for Simon. Thank you so much. Hey, Matt. Hey, Matt, gambling stuff. So, going back to my previous point before the interlude, I do want to say that as an autistic individual, I do find getting a job. Sorry, lost my train of thought. But I do find getting like a job, employment rather difficult because in Western society and in most societies in the world, the first thing that people judge is your ability to articulate, your ability to speak, your ability to say what you want to say, and your ability to use words and be concise. However, for me, that is a struggle. So when people first meet me, they meet me with, I must present them with my biggest weakness, my speech. Another unfortunate thing is that I am female. Unfortunately, in this society, especially as a minority, it makes things very difficult because of the inherent bias and the fact that the country I am in right now, the country I am in, it was built upon the idea of colonization and slavery, which has actually leached, which actually does leach into how minorities are treated. It really does speak volumes. That'd be so great, Gamble Slots. Thank you so much. Thank you, really appreciate it. So, Cheryl says, Simon, I just worry. You being homeless is so scary for a young woman. Anyway, you can move back to live with your parents. They love you, the streets don't. I'm sure you can have better interests. I honestly wish that sentiment could be true. Unfortunately for me, my family was the exact reason why I left home. This is honestly really hard to speak about, but I'll be making a separate video which will go into way more detail about this. But I am an adopted individual from China. I do not like to use this word at all. My family are abusers. Not the word abusers, but the word narcissist. My family My family has done things to mistreat me. I do realize that it's a really strong emphasis in Western culture, especially for adopted individuals, to consider their families the saviors. They consider their family like the saviors. They consider their family as the ones who love them. But in reality, not all families are created equally. It is a really hard pill to swallow. It is beyond difficult. And Cheryl, I wish I could go back home if I could. I just really wish I could. But right now, it is a very unsafe environment, and I do not want to further jeopardize my safety by going back into an environment which will be deteriorate. Going back home will lead to further estrangements. Oh, sorry. One of my housemates says hi. Hey, Gamblebee Slot, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Sorry, my phone is messing up. I can't see what it says, but it says something. Sorry, can you send a message in the regular chat? Hi. Oh, one of my roommates just came up. Shower says, you cannot just talk to them. I honestly wish it was just as easy as picking up the phone. I honestly wish it was just as easy as writing a letter. I honestly just wish that it was like as easy as saying, I love you. But unfortunately, not at the moment. Hey, J-Ro Slots. What state are you in right now? Oh, another roommate came up. Hey, J-Ro. Hey, J-Ro Slots. J-Ro is asking, what state are you in? I cannot say what state I am in or what location I am in. I did have a scary run-in with another. Abuser. My most recent abuser. I will not say their name, how I'm related to them, or give any details. Because the abuse did get bad. I cannot say anything specifically, once again for privacy. But the abuse got to the point where they began controlling how much time I could use on technology. Keep in mind that I'm a 23-year-old adult. And I do want to reassure all of you who may be worried. I do understand your concern. I do understand the idea about family. Yes, I do respect all of your opinions, all your beliefs. And I do know that it sometimes can be really hard to wrap around the idea of not having a safe forever family to go home to. It may be a very far concept. I do understand that. I do acknowledge that. And I'm honestly beyond grateful for those who can have a strong bond with their family. I'm really glad for people. I'm really glad for those. I know, I might be a little stubborn. But honestly, it is not safe to go back. I'll keep it at that for now. Thank you so much, Aura Slots. So for the previous abuser, it got to the point where they controlled how much time I could be on technology. They began controlling. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Thank you for your prayers. They began controlling some aspects of my life. And the previous people, they also told me, they also expected me to jump up and do things for them. Yet when they did things for me, they did guilt me for their act kindness. Unfortunately, that proved to be an unhealthy situation. I may be like the Charlie Brown of living situations, one bad situation after another. But unfortunately, that is the reality of when you come from an unhealthy foundation, when you come from a broken home. You tend to seek out individuals who are familiar. You tend to seek out comfort. And that is exactly what happened to me. Exactly what happened. I will not go into details. I will not go into like the long tangent stories of like the previous households and what happened in great detail. But what I can say is I found the people who I thought were familiar. However, their actions and their choices reflected those of my family. So that is why I've been fleeing a lot. The word victim may be strong, is a strong word, but I am a domestic violence victim. I'm also, on the same note, I'm also a domestic violence survivor. This means that as a survivor, I choose to be careful about my new living situations. I choose to be picky about my roommates, and I choose to be picky about who I let into my life. I choose to be picky. I do choose people who respect my anatomy I choose people who say, I may not always agree with you, but that is my opinion. You can have your opinions. That is the healthy people who I wish to live with going forward. Shari is asking, have you reached out to Roger? I have not reached out to Roger. And I also do not plan on reaching out to Roger because I do realize that Roger has his own life. Roger is not obligated to take care of me at all. And at the same time, I do consider Roger a friend. Yet, I do respect that he has his own life. I do respect his time, and I do respect that he does have his own priorities. I cannot speak for the Roger himself, but what I can say coming from me is that I do have some friends. I do have some people who are also helping me who are currently helping me. Yes, that is right, all his thoughts. He has gone through his own outbreak of his own. I do want to respect his time. I do want to respect his privacy. And I do want to respect that he's gone through a hard time. The last thing I want to do is project my problems onto somebody and expect them to help. As an autistic individual, what I used to do that ruined a lot of relationships was I used to just expect a lot from people. I used to expect people to feed me. I used to expect people to cater to my needs and say, hey, and when I said like, hey, do this, they would cater to my needs. That was me in middle school. And I'm not proud of my middle school. I'm not proud of that aspect of myself at all. So that is why I'm learning to be more self-sufficient. To be able to stand on my own 2 feet. I know. And that's why. Wow. Oh, thank you so much, J. Will. You are so kind. All good. I understand. I got you. If you can get to the outskirts of Chicago, you can live with me as a roommate, no rent needed, and there'll be many places to hire in a walking distance apartment for rent. Thank you so much, J. Real. Oh, thank you so much. Frenchie says, Hello, Simon. I wish the best for you. I'm praying for you. Yes, keep your privacy. It is the best for you. I hope everything gets better soon. Thank you so much. I do have to keep my privacy because of what happened recently online. What happened in what happened in my previous living situation. That's why I have to be very private right now. Thank you, J. Will. You're so sweet. Or Thought says, if you ever find yourself in Denver, I can get you a weekly paying job in 2 weeks, my friend. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. Oh, thank you. I'm honestly not sure. That's a great idea, J. Will. Save money, then rent an apartment below me, cheaper than anywhere else. That is a really good idea. I would definitely keep all of you posted. Even though I cannot share my whereabouts, what I'm doing for work, or very much detail right now, I'll keep you updated. I'll keep you posted what is going on with my life. And another update I do want to make is about my channel. I am in no place whatsoever to make any gambling videos. I am in no place whatsoever to even step a foot in a casino. And I'm in no place right now to even put any money towards gambling. Not even a cent. So that's why I'll be focusing for the next few months. I'll be focusing my channel on adoption trauma, what it's like being an autistic individual, a low-income autistic individual in America, and I'll mostly be focusing a lot about the inequalities impoverished individuals face, and why society is a failing system. I know it may sound dystopian, but honestly, I am the result of the system's selfishness. But my situation is the result of the system's selfishness. Thank you, James. I'll be safe. I'll keep you all updated via live streams, community posts, and videos. I do hope to start uploading more frequently. It will not be any casino videos at all. It may be some art videos, but rather I would also be talking about my adoption story and domestic violence. Thank you so much, Scotty A-Town. That means a ton. Also, Steve, let me make you a moderator so you can drop the link. Shoot. As a moderator. Alright, there you go. I got you as a moderator. Alright, Anita Brown says, do you get any types of income to help out with Social Security? Unfortunately not, because I do have a work history. What happens is when you have a work history, even if you worked a single day in your life, in my country, from what I can tell after reading through the laws, you cannot qualify. If you worked a single day of work, from what I've heard, please correct me if I'm very incorrect. But this is what I recall, is that if you work, you do not qualify. It's harder to qualify for Social Security benefits. And what they do is they put you through a bunch of loopholes. Yes, your application may get rejected a few times. Yes, your application may take 2 years to process. It is because the system is so backed up right now, and it is because the system is so behind due to what happened in 2020. It is all behind. So by the time I get SSI benefits, I most likely have overqualified. I most likely would overqualified. Alright, thank you, Quad Zoo. Art videos are more interesting to me anyways. Thank you. I just really, really love doing art too. I hope to find myself a tripod eventually. I'm currently saving up to go on a thrift store run to get some fresh clothing for work. And I hope to find a tripod. Unfortunately, I forgot my tripod at one of the places I had to flee from because I was being used for drug money. I ended up fleeing one of my living situations because I thought I was like helping to pay for groceries, but only to find out that I was paying for drugs, that I was like funding a drug habit. Unfortunately, that is what happened in one of my situations. I also want to remind you all that the previous I lost my train of thought. Woody K says, "So wait, Simon, what happened to the family that raised you and had all these slot machines at your home?" Unfortunately, I lost 2 to domestic violence. I do have my slot. Somebody is actually storing the slot machines. Darn, I just lost my train of thought. But slot machines, that's right. The glorious slot machine. So, going back to Rudy K's question, I did touch on the subject slightly earlier in the video. I will not rehash all the details. But if you do rewind to the audio section of the live stream, you will hear why I no longer have anything to do with my adopted family, and that is why I am estranged. It is honestly a tragic story. It is honestly heartbreaking beyond belief, because I do raise the importance of the notion of how important family is in Western culture. I do raise that because of how ingrained family is, that when you don't have a family, it can be heartbreaking. It's either a biological or an adopted family. Oh my gosh, the chat's cracking me up. Oh my gosh. So slot machines. Oh, I'm getting all distracted. But slot machines. Unfortunately, my slot machines are in storage. One of my friends is keeping an eye out on my slot machines. Still, it does not make up for the fact that I ended up losing two of my 5 slot machines. So, that is what happened to my slot machines. I miss them dearly. My slot machines are like family to me. Alright, that's right, Sherry. Alright, get out the bullhorn, get out the blaster, everybody, because free winter J-Reels, everybody! J-Reel says, they can apply for email Sherry. Everybody email Sherry. Email Sherry. Give Sherry an email. Give an email. Everybody. Oh, wait. No, wait. I just misread the chat. Alright, everybody. I meant to say, everybody email J-Real. Everybody email J-Real. Free place to live. Everybody email J-Real. Aww. Oh, thank you so much, OS Slots. I have a room as well. Game for employment and a good attitude needed. LOL, bring them slot machines and we'll do a live every night. Just kidding on the last part. Oh my gosh. Alright, so we got JRO Slots. We got OS Slots. I'm not sure where I was going with that. So let's go live every night. Imagine going live every single night. That would be one heck of a blast. That'd be one heck of a blast. Going live every night. Rudy K says, Simon, how much time do you have at your Rudy K is asking, Simon, how much time do you have at your temporary place that you're at? I have until October 7th as of now. I'm not sure if my time is going to be extended or not, but I'll keep you all posted as that date gets closer. Frenchie says, Simon, you never gamble that much anyways. You do not have to explain yourself. You are so exciting to watch you do 20-cent bets. Life has many challenges. Hope things get better for you soon. Oh, thank you so much. That means a ton. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, life has definitely been a roller coaster for the last year. It has definitely been a struggle, not a pretty one. It's definitely been, it's definitely been a strange time. And thank you so much, Steve D, for dropping the link. Tessa, It's a Slot Machine YouTube channel needs your help. She is Simon Cleef there. Thank you so much, Steve D. There's no obligation to donate. There's no obligation to give. If you're in it, it is totally okay. If you're in it, shoot, I forgot what I was going to say again, but I don't know that you know that even that there's no obligation to give at all. There's no obligation to financially support, but rather your presence goes a long way. Just being here in this chat, just being a viewer. I understand if you do not wish to chat, which is totally fine with me. Alright, good night, shall we? It's totally fine with me if you do not wish to chat. If you do not wish to oh shoot, what was I saying? My apraxia is really acting up right now, but I just want to say that your presence is very appreciated here. Right now. And you're all honestly just being here is really keeping my hope alive. All of you being here is a reminder of why I should keep going. Why I should keep going. Why I should keep sharing my story. And why I should remain present. Thank you so much for helping me hang on. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody, for helping me just hang on. I'm honestly getting a little emotional because that is how absolutely appreciative I am of all of you. That is how appreciative I am here for all of you for being here, taking the time out of your day to listen, taking the time out of the day just to be present, just to be here, just to listen to a story. Because sometimes a listening ear is exactly what somebody needs. A listening ear really goes a long ways. Especially if a person has not felt heard, especially if a person has been marginalized, especially if a person has really gotten through a rough time. So that's why just being here, just listening means the absolute world tonight. Thank you so much, Quadzoo. I totally understand, Jay Will. We do go through rough times in life. A quote from Steven Universe is, if everything is a steak, there would be no hot dogs. That quote really does stick with me. especially for the last few weeks. Steve D says, Simon, if you're ready, maybe explain how you got the name Simon Cleef. That's a really good question. Well, if you're curious about how I got the name Simon Cleef, it actually started, I just remember this detail, but it started when I was like searching the term slot machine. I saw this article about why you should go to the casino every night, and there was this doctor named Dr. Simon Cleef. I was like, alright, Dr. Simon Cleef, that is so cool. But then the article revealed, well, guess what? If you rearrange the letters in Simon Cleef, you get slot machine. And that's how I ended up choosing my name, Simon Cleef, because I love the anagram. Just being able to rearrange the letters, see what you get, see what magic happens. Because Simon Cleef, slot machine-y. I love slot machines. They're beautiful. They make me so happy. Happy, happy, happy. And they are amazing slot machines. Slot machines, double diamond, red, white, and blue, WMS, Blue Ball, Dragon Link. Dragon Link. I love Dragon Link so much. I love Golden Century, Panda Magic. Panda Magic, Happy and Prosperous. I'm forgetting the fourth one. The fourth of the new series. But I do know that there's Princess Peacock, Happy and Prosperous. That's like the two original Dragon Links. And Princess Peacock. 3 original Dragon Links. So that is the three original Dragon Links. Also, not only will the GoFundMe help with rent, it will also go towards food money, and hygiene products. Because you know what it's like because here's this thing. Here's something that hardly anybody talks about. I know it's like really uncomfortable, can be uncomfortable, but if you are, but like at the end of this is something that I know is gonna make some of it can be a little uncomfortable. I'm trying to figure out the best way to approach this, but end of the month hygiene products, unfortunately not covered by SNAP or food stamps, and they can be quite costly. Even something as small, even an expense as small as $10 can really blow a budget. Even something as seemingly low cost as a pack of like feminine hygiene products. It's a lot, and it's a monthly expense too, which is something I just remembered that I must factor into my budget. Oh, thank you so much, Slots, for the $5 super chat. Woo! Believe in the universe. Nothing is by accident. Everything happens for a reason. You will come up on top. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your words of kindness. Really do. And Steve D says, please donate here. YouTube takes 30% of the super chats. Thank you so much for the reminder, Steve D. I totally forgot about that too, but I really do appreciate your super chats too. Thank you, Steve D. It's a slot machine should get another PhD in slot machines. Another Dr. Simon Cleef. I would love a PhD in slot machines. Seeing a bunch of slot machines every day. Working at a casino, cleaning slot machines. Being a slot machine tech, dream job right there. And also being a children's book illustrator. Frenchie says, Simon, you are a beautiful person with a lot of talent. Keep your head up, sweetie. Things will get better for you. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. So, shoot, where was I going? That's right, Frenchie. For the last few years, things have been rough for a lot of people. since we're hitting the hour mark, I'm going to start wrapping up a little bit. But for the next 10 minutes, I'll be taking any further questions, and I'll also be talking about, just like answering any of your questions. Just like kind of doing some small talk for the last 10 minutes as we wrap things up. Quadzu is asking, have you tried drawing for animation? Yes, I've tried applying for animation jobs. Unfortunately, they require that I finish my college degree. And thank you so much, thank you so much, J-Will, for the $50 super chat. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. Y'all making me cry. Thank you. You're some of the kindest people in the universe. Thank you. Much love, Simon. Stay strong. Blessings. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, J-Will. Alright, so Jose Max is asking, I say the art department at Scientific Gaming, aka Light and Wonder, or International Gaming Technology would be your type of job. Heck yes, hallelujah! I would love to get into that industry. I would love to get into the gaming industry. And I do feel that it would be a better job actually because I do find that when I'm on my feet all day and I'm around people a lot, around large crowds like at the casino, I do face autistic burnout. Hey, Amy Price, nice to see you. So I added a tidbit about graphic design internships and digital design jobs. Unfortunately, nowadays, if you want to get into here's the reality. If you want to get into a digital design internship, a digital design job, you do have to have a really strong connection to the industry. Unfortunately, I not have a very strong connection to the industry ever since I had to cut my education short due to domestic violence. And I also had to cut my education short because, for like another reason, for like many reasons. But I do want to let you know, that, and I did cut my education short as of now. But I do hope to eventually resume it. That is one of my big goals in life. My two biggest goals is getting a driver's license, getting stable housing, getting a reliable income, getting a job which would be a job in the digital design industry, and finishing my education. That's my biggest four priorities: a driver's license, a house, or an apartment, a stable income, and a job in the digital design industry. And I do want to make it very clear that even if you, right now in this current job market, that when you're trying to apply for a digital design internship or even a digital design job, when you go to sites like in LinkedIn or Indeed, you see like listings of jobs. But when you go to click to apply, there's like literally 100 to 300 people per job. 100 to 300 applicants per position. However, each position requires 3 years in the industry, which I do have. But what I do not have is the education. That what is getting me. That is what's getting me, is the fact that I not have my education complete. And the cooks, and unless you have a really strong connection, or I got born into like a family with really powerful connections, which usually means money, which usually means a family with money, unfortunately in this society. So, and unfortunately, I did have to leave my family. But what happens is you do like have to get, is you do have to get into, you do have to get into like, you do like nowadays to get into the digital design job market, you have to have really strong connections. Within the industry, unfortunately, I do not have any strong connections direct connections into the industry as of now, from what I can tell. But that might change. I also realize that this is not only a problem for digital design, for the digital design industry. It is happening among numerous job fields, among numerous among numerous industries, which, oh sorry, I have my name. Alright, so let me see if I can get to a quieter spot. Scoot over. Alright, now in a quieter spot. Oh, thank you so much, Jose. Thank you so much, Jose. Sorry if I butchered your name. Simon Tessa. I just sent you a little anonymously to GoFundMe. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Straight Up Slots, for your prayers. I know that right now is a really hard time. I do acknowledge that I'm in a really difficult situation. But I do really appreciate all of you being here for support. Being here to support, being here for all your kindness and open ears and open hearts. I just cannot say how much tonight really means to me. Straight Up Thoughts, that's a really, really good question. Unfortunately, unfortunately, things with my family did turn violent. They did turn physically violent. I cannot really go into details on YouTube because of the YouTube policies and the rules, unfortunately. But it did get violent. And I do feel that even if I try to reconcile, I do feel that, and I do realize that even if I do go back, that I'm at a risk for domestic violence. It is a very unsafe environment. I do know. It is honestly very tragic. And in fact, some international adoptees might know like a good portion of adopted individuals. Oh my God, Steve. Shh. Nobody tell nobody. Shh. Everybody. Shh. That's our little secret, Steve and Jose. So, Dawn, what was I saying? That train left the station again. True. Annette Brown says, can you get a job anywhere secret? Support yourself. You are very young. Maybe at a diner restaurant for the meantime. That is a really good idea. Fortunately, I do have a summer job lined up. And fortunately, I do have a summer job lined up. And fortunately, I can remain anonymous doing it. And for that reason, I cannot say what I'm doing, where I'm doing, or what I'm up to exactly. But I do want to say, but I also do want to, for my last remark, I do want to say, we got the audit by the donation police. Ashley Him says, here to support you. I'll be going through this soon with my 2 young kids. I understand Straight Up Slots. Abusers Abusers have a way of manipulating the situation. Abusers have a way of making a story sound so crazy, so insane, so twisted that it's hard to reconcile, or even believe. Alrighty. Bye, Felicia. Whoop. Bye, Felicia. Quad2 says, I'm always amazed whenever people choose to back an abusive situation. Glad you're staying strong, Tessa. Thank you so much. Also, Ashley, if you need to talk to me, if you need someone to talk to, and this is also an open invite for everybody too, you're always welcome to message me on my Simon Cleef Facebook page. You're always welcome to message me on my Apraxia Story Facebook page too. If you need somebody to talk to, or if you're going through something similar. So, with that being said, we have hit the hour mark. And for those, before I forget, I also do a lot of artwork. I do channel artwork, graphics, logos, and banners. And if you're able to, I would be more than willing to do some artwork for your channel if you're looking to spice things up. I do thumbnail art. I do channel logos and banners. And I also illustrate children's books too. I'm a children's book illustrator. So, if you do wish to commission a piece of art, you can message me on Apraxia Story, APRIXIA. Alright, EC. Bye-bye. Boop. And STORY. Alright. Also, EC, by the way, this. Oh, I forgot I was gonna say EC. But Jose Max says, I think you can make a lot of money doing portraits in high pedestrian traffic areas. Brilliant idea. I absolutely love that idea too. I'd love to get a sketch pad, a chair. So I'm gonna get myself a chair. I will see if I can get a sketch pad somewhere, go into town, and do some sketch. And also, oh my gosh, J-Ro, thank you for the $50 super chat. Unfortunately, it cut your message off because YouTube is being a bleep. So if you do not mind resending your message, I will reread your message, J-Ro. Thank you so much for the $50 super chat. Woo! Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the $50 super chat. Alright, Slotty Math Teacher says, chin up, Simon. You are young and you have an incredible talent. Although it doesn't take away from emotional damage, you're strong AF. Prayers for your eyes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm not sure, but YouTube is really glitching right now. Alright, so actually, you know what was really strange? I will show you what I see on my screen. There's this pink ball that says 50, then it has J-Ro's name on it. And then it says it was timed out. That is so strange, like what it did. I thought there's definitely a really strange glitch. Let me go back and thank everybody for their super chats. Thank you so much, all slots, for your $5 super chat. Woo! Thank you so much. Not sure, but YouTube keeps overlaying the chat, and it's like jumbled, humbled, hot mess express. Thank you so much, Gamble Beef Slots, for the $20 super chat. Woo! Alright, shoot. I lost my place in the chat. Much better. Oh, hey, Mary Jane. I'm glad to see you too. And also, thank you, Steve D, for letting me know. Oh, thank you, Jay Will. I said much love, Simon. Stay strong. Blessings. Oh, thank you so much. I got it. Alright, finally got the chat discombobulated. Steve D says, thank you, Moblia de Capiana, for the $10 GoFundMe donation. Woo! Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Quadzoo. Frenchie says, so sorry to hear this, Ashley Holmes. Ashley, I'm just so sorry to hear about your situation. And it honestly just makes me cry thinking about how families can put up such a nice front, but be so abusive and corrosive to their own children behind their backs and behind closed doors. It just honestly makes me cry so much right now. Frenchie says, so sorry to hear that, Ashley Holmes. Wish you the best and stay safe. This stream is bringing me to tears. I work with individuals in this situation and it's never easy to hear. Yeah. I do remember sitting in like a waiting room. I do remember sitting in the waiting room, and I do remember hearing the stories. Just the stories, just seeing the injuries. It was so tragic. It was so tragic how quickly. It was just so sad just how quickly everybody's life could be flipped upside down. And it really says a lot. And it really says a lot. And what really gets to me, my final thought is, what really gets to me is the fact that people say, the homeless are just lazy, they just choose to be on the streets, jobless leeches. Especially when people say that. But in reality, someone like me, someone can go homeless in the blink of an eye. Just like what happened to me, blink of an eye, homeless. Ashley says, thank you so much, Frenchie. Unfortunately, my family is abusive as well, and my whole household will be displaced. I'm beyond sorry to hear. That's downright awful. There's no excuse for abuse. That's right, Ashley Holmes. Say it louder for those in the back. Abuse can happen to anyone. It is really sad. Abuse can come out of nowhere. And what I want to add to that sentiment is abuse can come out of nowhere. Abuse can come out of left field. You could be having a perfectly pleasant day. Bam, abuse. And I know I just lost somebody's question. Ashley M says, does it take a long time to get in housing assistance? Yes. Even if you're on the top of the wait list, even if you're in the shelter, it can take up to a year, or up to 4 years. There's somebody who I know on my Practice Story Facebook page who is still waiting for housing 14 years later. Who is still waiting for housing 14 years later for the Section 8 vouchers. And there's somebody else who I also know, who I will keep private, who's also on year 8 of a 10-year waiting list. In fact, some states had shut down their waiting lists because there was like over 200,000, because there was like 60,000 families on that waiting list. The waiting list got so overwhelmed that they had to shut down the waiting list. I know it is really hard to swallow, but it is there. It is a reality you must confront. It is a reality you must face living in America. That is a really good idea, the Magician's Casino. They advertise our work on Twitter. I used to have a Twitter account. Unfortunately, it did get toxic, so I had to take a long break from Twitter. But I do want to resume Twitter. I do want to go. But I do want to be able to go back on Twitter to start really advertising my art, because any exposure will really go a long ways by now. Ashley Holmes says, I have the website, but I didn't know which program to apply for. Luckily, the kids can be with their dad if I cannot find housing. Yeah. That is beyond heartbreaking to think about. I'm beyond sorry for you. I wish there was something I could do to help. I just wish that I could help you right now, Ashley. Ashley, if you need help figuring out what program to apply for, you can always contact me on my It's a Slot Machine Facebook page, and I can see if I can walk you through the steps. It is a very lengthy application. It is very tedious. You do have to say everything just right, otherwise you'll get rejected, which is going to happen for me most likely. I do have my Section 8 housing voucher in, but it's going to be years. And I may still even get rejected after 4 years. So Ashley, if you wish to discuss the programs to apply from, I can help. I can see what I can do. I know it is very tedious, especially when the programs say, you're unfit for that resource. Sorry, you're disabled. Not disabled. Sorry, you don't qualify. And it just keeps sending you to resource after resource after resource. That is what happened to me. That is why resources can be so frustrating. That is why resources can honestly just be so exhausting. They're there to help, but unfortunately, they're not accessible. That is right, Frenchie. Frenchie is right. Ashley, there should be a hotline that you can call to get answers on what programs to apply for. If you are in the United States, I recommend calling 211 for shelters. And I forgot the exact name of the hotline to find housing programs. Thank you, Casino Solvent. So, I realize that we're an hour and 2 minutes into this live stream, and you're very welcome, Ashley. And does anybody have any final questions before I call it a night? Alrighty, so I just really want to thank you all for being here. This means the absolute world. I'll be keeping you updated with videos, live streams, community posts. Nice to see you too, cartoons. And J. Thoughts is right. FYI, certain churches and the people that attend can help as well. Thank you so much, Gamble B. Thoughts and Mom. Good to see you too, Casino Solvent. Oh, thank you, Ashley. I'll stay safe. Alrighty, see you, everybody. Have a safe night. And Ashley, if you need somebody to talk to, I'm here. And anybody who needs somebody to talk to, even if it's like for a listening ear or someone to vent to, I'm here, and I'm here to listen. Later, alligator. Thank you, J-Real. That's right. Frenchie says, yes, J-Real, that is true. Thank you for giving that information. I nearly forgot about that information too. Good to see you too, always slots. Later, alligator. And that's a really important link, Steve D. Anyone who needs to get info on Section 8 housing, 2 emails daily. There you go. Bye-bye, Mary Jane. It was wonderful seeing you all. Bye-bye.